Hi friends, Suzanne here. Welcome to another Monday Makes video on my YouTube channel and blog. For today's project, I am featuring the designer series paper or pattern paper called He's the Man. And along with it, I'm going to use a sentiment from the Very Best Occasions stamp set and punch bundle. Now, the He's the Man pattern paper has these die cutouts that I'm going to use for my card today. I have a friend who is a fellow his birthday's coming up, and I wanted to actually send him a card. He is a camper, not a hunter. I think he's a fisher. So I don't know if there's any fish in this one, but I didn't get it. So again, I'm just going to use the happy birthday sentiment and the punch. And I can't remember what this punch is called. I will have it linked down below in the video description. And this is just I think it's like 3 3/4 by 5-inch piece of basic white. And this is our new corner rounder kind of idea. So this is a new punch to me. And I'm just adhering this to one of the papers that is in the packet of He's the Man designer series paper, and I'm going to use this for the inside of my card. And you can see on the back side of that paper there's a whole bunch of antique cars. So if your fellow is into antique cars, this is the paper for him. And then I'm going to fold it over, and then I'm going to place this particular design on the front. And that is an early espresso card base. And this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to set that off to the side. Now, this is a piece of 4 1/4 by 11, and I am going to score at 3 inches. Follow along. It'll all make sense in a minute. So on my score blade, I'm doing 3 inches. Then I'm going in with my bone folder and making an extra slice. So 5 1/2. And I'm pulling out my arm there for 8 inches. I'm just sort of reinforcing that score. And then 9 1/2 inches. All right, so I'm taking my trimmer away, and now I'm going to fold it. So the smallest side becomes a mountain. The next fold becomes a valley, then a mountain, then a valley, and then we're going to adhere the big side to our card base, but not before I apply some pattern paper. So this piece is 1 1/4 by 4 inches, and then I'm reinforcing that score line. And then the next piece is 2 1/4 by 4. And these are all papers that are found in He's the Man designer series paper. And then another piece of 2 1/4 by 4. And I'm just using my favorite adhesive, which is Seal Plus. Takes a minute to get it going, but it actually is it's a lot stickier than just regular seal. And the last piece is 2 3/4 by 4. Of course, this makes a difference if it's a directional pattern. You will always want the 4 inches to be horizontal. Does that make sense? Well, I suppose you could do it the other way too. Yeah, never mind. Forget what I said. I'm putting adhesive on the back of the big side, and now I'm going to adhere it to the card. And then, so basically it'll open up kind of like an accordion, and you can leave it just like that. I'm taking it a step further. I'm using some of these die cuts and just some extra matting white pieces of paper. I'll get a little closer up. The thing is that we don't have a corner rounder, and these die cuts have very tiny corner rounds. So I just want to mimic that in the mat directly under the die cut there. And of course those laser cut pieces, I guess I want to call them, they're all in the paper. It's on one sheet of paper or two sheets of paper they're great little, I call them ephemera. All right, so I'm just going to put adhesive behind that piece of ephemera, and I'm going to attach it to my self-rounded cornered designer series, basic white. And then I do have another little piece here that is, it's just designer series paper, and I don't even have what size that is. I apologize. I sort of wung it after I wrote down all the measurements, the important measurements, and then I figure you have license to go ahead and, figure it out yourself. The mat was there; it's proportional to the piece. All right, so if you're still picking up what I'm throwing down, I'm going to do exactly the same thing with this die cut, and I'll get a little closer in so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just using my very sharp paper snips. And I've had these for years, you guys, and they're still super, super sharp. I don't use them for ribbon. I have a special ribbons pair, but I gotta say that these are very sharp scissors. Putting some Seal Plus or dry adhesive, your adhesive of choice. Mine is this one. And adhering it to basic white, which is in the pattern paper as well. And now I put 4 dimensionals on the left-hand side. And I'm going to adhere this right dead smack in the middle of that card. So the dimensional adhesive is only attached on one side. Now you could leave it like this, but I kind of thought it was floppy. So I'm going to adhere 2 pieces together. The 2 1/4 by 4 are, well, these pieces, this next one, and I'm just going to fold it. So it's more like a book now. And then I put some linen thread, and I was making this on the fly. So I have some linen thread, and I fed it through one of underneath my piece there. And I'm like, okay, now I have to tie it around a dimensional. And I actually have these really weird braces things. It's got a loop on top, and it's like a needle. And man, I've used them several times. Very handy. So head to Walmart, and it's like braces. It's like a fine plastic needle with a loop on it. I don't know how to explain it, but boy, it helps. You feed the ribbon through it, and then you can feed it through any hole that you need to. All right, so I'm making a poke here with my take your pick tool, and I am using, goodness me, I can't remember what those are called. Hang on, I'll get them from my bin here. Let's see. They are called round and square brads. So I use the white one, and I'm going to tie my linen thread around my dimensional a couple of times, making a knot. And then I'm making this kind of like an interactive card for my friend. And basically this is going to hold the whole kit and caboodle together. So I'm going to wrap that little linen thread around my square white brad. And then I found another piece of ephemera. It's a tree. And I'm just going to cover the unsightly brad tails. So I just use just my favorite adhesive, folded back on itself in some of the pointy parts. And I adhered that directly to my brad pieces. So it's all nice and neat now. And then with the, let's see, Very Best Occasion stamp set, I used the Happy Birthday and Stays on Ink. And then I wrote a lovely note to my friend Cody, who's celebrating his birthday on the 21st of August. Anyway, You guys can see the supplies I used today listed below in the video See More section or in the supplies section of my blog, and those fast links will take you to my Canadian online store where I'd love the chance to meet you and earn your business. Remember, there's only 2 more weeks of celebration, so once the celebration items are gone, they're gone for good, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.